Hi, hello, welcome to or back to my channel. So today I'm going to be finally doing my 25 books I want to read in 2025. I wrote this list at the end of December, so I have already read I think 2 of the books, but I'll let you know which ones those are. I promise I'm not cheating, I just made this list a while ago. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and let's get into it. The first book on my 25 books I want to read in 2025 is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This needs to be read because the 3rd one has come out now on its storm and everyone's reading it and I have so much FOMO, but this book just scares me because even though I loved 4th Wing so much, I gave it 5 stars, it was a 6-star read. This book scares me just because of the reviews. Not everyone's loving it, there's a lot of politics apparently, and I'm just scared that it's going to put me in a slump and I'm not going to enjoy it, and I don't want to not enjoy it because I love 4th Wing so much. Now I can't stop thinking about this book because I'm seeing everyone read On Its Storm, so I do think this will be read very soon. Also, I'm not going to do synopsis for every book because I feel like that would take forever. The ending of 4th Wing as well, I don't know how I've held it off for so long, but I think it's just because of how much this book intimidates me, and I'm just so excited to be back with the characters. And one thing that I really adore about this series is there's a character in it. Violet in here has a syndrome called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's not specifically said in the 1st one, I don't know if it's said in the later books. That syndrome is very rare, and I have a syndrome called Marfan syndrome which is very similar. I just love that there's actually a book with a character with that syndrome because it's not represented enough, and it's nice to have a character that I can relate to in a way in a fantasy world. It's just really nice that Rebecca decided to do that, and I believe that Rebecca herself has the syndrome as well. The font is tiny, I just know it's going to take me ages to read, but it's going to be worth it. I feel like I am going to enjoy it. Also guys, I just want to apologise if I am talking weird. It is because my braces have caused a cut on my lip here, and it really hurts when I talk because it's rubbing on the cut, so if I sound weird or anything, that is why. So the next book we have, another one I can't believe I haven't read yet, is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. This is another one I'm hoping to read very soon. I love Holly so much, and I know she's bringing out another book this year and I can't wait. She is just one of my all-time favourite authors. I think she is incredible. She's an author by author. Anytime she brings something out, I am there, I am buying it, I am pre-ordering it because I'm obsessed with her. One thing I will say though, I wish she wrote more books set in the UK. Like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder was set in the UK, but now she's starting to write her books in America. But I feel like the charm of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder was because it was set in the UK and she's a Brit, so I'm hoping that she starts to write more books set in the UK. But yeah, I think this one is set in America, I believe. It sounds so interesting. It's like about a girl who, her mum goes missing, and then they start filming this documentary about her mum, and then she reappears out of nowhere, and then the daughter's like trying to figure out like what happened, where did she go, what is the mystery. Yeah, I just haven't been in the mood for a thriller. When I am in the mood, this will be the first thriller that I read because I need to get to it. Daydream by Hannah Gray. I've got the stunning Waterstones edition. It's got beautiful sprayed edges. This one I cannot wait for because it is Henry, I believe. Yeah, Henry Turner. Oh my god, he's got the same, how did I never realise that? He's got the same surname as me. I'm Courtney Turner, but yeah, I love Henry in the other books. He's so sweet. And golden retriever vibes. I feel like Hannah Grace is the queen of golden retriever. She just knows how to do it. I know that I'm going to be obsessed with it, and I know there's a 5-star somewhere in this series. Wildfire was so close to being a 5-star. I just have a good feeling about this one. I feel like I'm going to love it. I feel like it's going to be my first 5-star from Hannah Gray. I don't remember Hallie though. I don't know if she's in the other books, I can't remember, but yeah, and also just look at the cover, it's so cute. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Foster. I'm just so excited for all these books, but yeah, this I'm so behind. Like, everyone has read this book and I have so much FOMO. Again, I feel like I need to read it. It just sounds so romantic, so beautiful, and I just love, like I've said in many videos before, I love Ashley Foster's synopsis. Like, they always just pull me in and sound so interesting. As soon as I heard the synopsis for this, I had to get it. About this girl who moves into this house, and then her grandma has always told her this house is magical, that it like goes back in time, but she's never really fully believed it until one day she goes to her apartment and there's just a random man standing in her kitchen, and she realises that this man is from 7 years ago. So basically this apartment time travels to the past. How interesting is that? Apparently this is really beautiful, really romantic. Everyone raves on and on and on about Ashley Poston. The only Ashley Poston book I have read is The Dead Romantics, and that was so good. So yeah, I really need to read another one of her books. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, I think it's called, the first one. Anyway, I read that in December and it was so amazing. I loved it and I cannot wait to tackle this series in 2025. Hopefully we can finish it in 2025, I don't know. But I'm not going to rush the series. I loved the first one. It wasn't a 5-star. I feel like though, as we get later in the series, that's where the 5 stars are going to be, because with the movies the later ones are better, and I feel like that's the same with the books. But they're all really good, obviously. I'm adding this one because this is the next one I need to read. This list has very much got a lot of series in it as well that I want to continue. I just can't wait to be back in this beautiful, incredible world, and I just know I am gonna love them. I can't believe I haven't read all of them when I've watched all the movies, but to be fair, when I watched the movies I wasn't a bookish person. Now I am, and I just cannot wait to read all the books, and every time I read one of the books I'm gonna watch the movie to follow it. It's just such an amazing experience. I just love it. I also actually like that I've watched the movies because I feel like I can imagine things better. I was actually speaking to Connor the other day that I really struggle with imagining things with reading. I wish I was a better person at like seeing things in my mind. I can see certain things but I can't imagine everything, and that can cause me to like miss quite a lot of things and forget things quite easily. When I imagine people, they usually just have a blurry face unless I've got like a picture to go off of. I don't know, it's really annoying that my brain works this way. I wish I could imagine things better. So I feel like with that, because I've watched the movies already, I can imagine everything with the writing, and it's just such an incredible experience. I love it so much. So next we have one that I have actually read. We are off to a good start with this list. We have Reckless by Lauren Roberts. Guys, this was so good. I'm not going to do a review because that's not what this is for, but the reason why I added this to the list is because I knew when I added it I was definitely going to read this, so I was like setting myself up for success, which is really good. I was always planning on reading this in January because I was like, I need to read it because the next one comes out in April. Held off on reading it because I was in a slump and I didn't want to read it while I was like in a slumpy mood, because I wanted to really enjoy it, and I definitely did. I obviously added this to the list because this is one of my favourite, like Powerless was one of my all-time favourite books. It was just 6-star rating for me, absolutely phenomenal. Love the world, the characters especially mean so much to me, so obviously I had to add this to the list. Next book we have, oh, you joking, my battery is flashing, I really need a new battery. Gonna film till it dies. Okay, next book we have is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This one I have actually started, guys. I'm in the middle of a reading vlog which you will see Reckless in as well, so you can see all my reactions. I'm currently on page 205. This is getting so good now. I can't wait to continue this today, but again, we're not doing reviews. I added this again because I really want to continue this series. Like I say, I've added a lot of series to this list because I really want to finish series this year. I've got so many series on my TBR that I want to start, but I don't want to get flooded with series, so I want to finish the ones I'm in the middle of. I love Stephanie so much. She has the most beautiful lyrical writing. This is one author that I can't imagine everything, but a lot of her writing makes it easy to imagine a lot of things in this world, which I really appreciate. I think she's such an amazing writer. Tempting Little Thief by Megan Brandy. This pulled me in when I was in the works. It just sounded so good. I don't really remember. This is probably what made me buy it. It says, Bastian Bishop, that's his name. He's rough, rugged and utterly unpredictable. He's an outsider, and in my world outsiders don't belong, but he doesn't seem to care. After one night of reckless rebellion, the tattooed tyrant keeps coming back, sneaking into my world without permission and causing trouble I can't allow. What he refuses to understand is I'm a girl of grace and a coveted queen of sorts in the underground crime world. So many buzzwords. He's a nobody with nothing to his name. We could never be, or so I thought, until betrayal burned so deep that suddenly nothing makes sense, nothing but him. How good is that synopsis, guys? I don't know why I just keep staring at this book. I really want to read it, so hopefully I'll get to it soon. Watch me say this and not read it till like 6 months time, but I do feel like I am definitely going to read this year. It just sounds phenomenal. It's got so many buzzwords on the back. I had to add this to the list because I really want to read it, and I feel like I'm setting myself up for success. adding this to the list, because if I don't read this year, there's something wrong with me, because I can't stop thinking about this book and how much I want to read it. But yeah, and I think I said in my last video, I feel like Megan Brandy is going to be one of my favourite authors. She just gives me those vibes. I feel like I'm going to love her. She writes really long romance books and romance series, and I really like longer romance books. I feel like they have so much depth to them, and I just think Megan's going to be amazing at that. Another Megan Brandy book, we have Say You Swear. This has been on my TBR for a while, and it's another one I'm always looking at, always wanted to read, and I don't know why I just haven't read it yet. I think it's because I've got so many books on my TBR, so I feel like adding this to the list is going to make me like read it. This one really intrigues me because there's barely anything on the back, and everyone hypes on about it. Everyone says it's amazing. I am back. My camera cut off because it died. I've added another Megan Brandy book to my 25 books I want to read in 2025, just because I feel like I am going to love her as an author, as I've said. And also, I've had this book on my TBR for a while, so I feel like I need to get to it. I'm pretty sure I got this in 2023, so it's been a while. Like, it's been on my TBR for well over a year now, and it just needs to be read. So hopefully putting this on the list will hold me accountable a little bit, you know. Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. This is a series I really want to start in 2025. I just feel like I'm going to love it. I love Chestnut Springs, and that is like the only cowboy romance vibe series I've ever read, and this is another one that everyone goes on and on about. All the books are quite short in this series as well, so I feel like they're going to be nice palette cleansers, super easy to read and fun, and I'm just gonna have a good time with it. My Vampire +1 by Jenna Levine. I absolutely adored My Vampire is a Roommate. I thought it was amazing. I think it was so cute. Like, I loved the rom-com vibes, but adding vampires in there was just such a fun little element, and I just cannot wait to get back into her writing. I just thought it was so cute. I feel like I am going to really enjoy this one as well, because this is about his friend in the first one. Nothing sucks more than fake dating a vampire. Oh, it's got fake dating in it. This is going to be so cute. Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I had to add Ali to the list because she's one of my favourite authors. I always say she's one of my favourite authors, but I've literally only read The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain, but I loved The Love Hypothesis that much that I have to say that she's one of my favourites. From reading The Love Hypothesis, I literally went out and bought all her books that she had ever written at the time, because I just loved it that much. This is the next one I think I want to read by her that I have on my TBR, so that's why I've added this one to the list. I am a little bit scared because apparently there's some smut scenes in here that are very questionable, and I love spice. I am a spice reader. I'm a little bit nervous because I must admit I have never ever read a paranormal romance, never read paranormal smut. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, but I guess this will be a good book to read to like see if I like paranormal smut, paranormal books. But yeah, I am really interested in this. And it's like fantasy vibes, but it's a standalone, so there's not too much pressure with this. Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. I love these covers so much. I think they're so much better than the old ones. I am adding this to the list because I read Chestnut Springs in 2024. Absolutely love that series. Wish I remembered more about it though, because I've sort of like got them all mixed up in my brain, as I said in my wrap up of the year. This is the next of her series I want to read. I want to read this one so then I can read the Wild Love series that she's currently writing. I feel like this is a good one to read next, because once I've finished this series, Wild Love will most likely be nearly finished, or it will be finished, so I'll have all those books to read as well. And I just really need to catch up on Elsie's books. I think this is set in the same world as Chestnut Springs, but it's on a different farm or something. I'm not fully sure. It's set on a farm and it's small town as well, so that'd be really cute. I think like some of the characters in here are in Chestnut Springs, but it's like very small cameos. I am excited to read more of Elsie's stuff and read her backlist of books. Next book we have is one that I have already read, Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. Obviously I had to add this to the list because I read Binding 13 and Keeping 13 so long ago now, and I've been holding off starting these books just because they are so unbelievably thick, like crazy thick. But they don't feel thick, let me just say that. They are worth every page. Every page counts in this series, I think. It is a lot of dialogue, but it's all so deep, so beautiful, and I feel like they are just totally worth the time spent reading them. I love this one so much. I did this to the list because I do want to continue this series, and I feel like I will read Redeeming Six very soon as well. But I set myself up for success with this one because I have already read it. I'm hoping that 2025 I can maybe hopefully finish this series like Get Caught Up, Read Redeeming 6 and something 7. I can't remember the name of it, but I can't wait for Gibbs's story as well. Oh my god, I cannot wait. I love Joey so much and Aof, and I just could not wait to get into their story, and I'm so glad that I have read this, and I can't wait to read Redeeming 6 as well. Like I said, I did make this list a while ago, so that's why that has already been read. The next book is one that I don't actually have with me because I ordered this book so long ago on Waterstones. I've actually had to email them because it still hasn't arrived, but it is One Shore Mine by, let me just check. One Shore Mine by Morgan Bridges. I added this because it's a stalker romance, which is a big buzzword for me after reading Haunting and Hunting Adeline, and I just really want to read another stalker romance. I think I said this in my wrap up, or not, in my TBR video. I really want to read more dark romance, so that is why I added this one to the list. It's one that I'm probably most excited for. So annoying that I don't own it yet, but I'm hoping to get it soon now I've emailed Waterstones. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This year needs to be the year that I read this series, because the fact that I haven't read it is just criminal. I feel like I am going to really enjoy this series, and I remember getting this series in 2023. Connor actually bought me this series, and I was just so excited to read it, and I just never ever got to it because my TBR just got bigger and bigger, and this sort of just ended up on the back burner. But it's still one that I'm so intrigued by, one that I'm still so excited for, so I wanted to put this on the list because I really want to make this year the year that I start this series, especially because I am going to do a like channel series on this channel where I read books that have been on my TBR for a while, and this can definitely go in one of those videos because it has been there for a long time. There's really good enemies to lovers in this series, but don't go into it thinking it's a romance, so I'm definitely just going to go into this thinking it's a fantasy, and there might be little hints of romance here and there because I know that people have gone into it thinking it's a romance and it's really not. So I'm definitely going to go into this with the right expectations, so I'm not disappointed. I've just heard so many incredible things about this series. The books are really short, so this series will not take me long to complete, so I just don't know why I haven't made the push to read it. But 2025, it will be the year, I swear to god. And if it's not, I'm going to be really angry with myself because it's been on the TBR for that long and it's really annoying me now, and I just know I need to get to it. Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, hopefully I'm saying that right. Super short book, so this is one that I should definitely get to. This one best be ticked off by the end of the year. Like I said, this is really short, so I feel like I can just sit down and read it in one sitting, and apparently this book is just beautiful. It's really sad, it's tragic, and it's got such an interesting synopsis. Like basically these people go to this coffee shop. While they're drinking the coffee, they can go back in time, I think, and like see like past family members, people in their past, and like speak to them. But once the coffee gets cold, they have to come back to the present. I think this is just going to be a really interesting read, something different for me because I don't read much. I think this is classed as a literary fiction, I think. Don't read much of that genre. Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. This again is another one that I'm take a shot every time I say intrigued, but it is another one that I am really interested in just because the synopsis. Basically these women survive a serial killer, and this story is about these women that survived it, and I think this is really interesting because obviously usually when you hear about serial killers, it's always about the serial killers, it's never about the victim. This book is very much about the women that went through this trauma, and I think it's going to be a really impactful read. I can't wait to read it. It's like everyone's favourite book in 2023, so I want to know why everyone loves it so much. It's of a serial killer that in the trial, the guy who, I forgot what they're called, the people that are at the front of the courtroom and like is doing the whole case, basically he said to Ted Bundy or whichever serial killer it was, you are such a bright young man, when how can someone that's literally terrorised women, killed women, be a bright young man? And that's why this book is called Bright Young Women, because it's about the women that were victims of this cruel, vicious man, not a bright young man like this guy said. So I think the title is also incredible. The book is told from the perspective of two women, Pamela and Ruth, who were affected by Bundy's murderers. So it's a fiction book, but it's like loosely based off of that. It's Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Another one that really annoys me because I literally in 2024 read Part of Your World just so I could read this, and I still haven't read it. What am I doing? This is one of the books that I'm most excited for, so why I haven't picked it up yet, I don't know. 2025 will definitely be the year that I read this. 100%, holding my hands up, I have to read this in 2025. That is why I put this on this list, because it is one of my most anticipated books, and the fact that I haven't read it yet really upsets me, because I just feel like this book that I'm holding right now, I feel like it is a 5-star. It is going to be one of my favourite books, so I need to read it. Maybe I could do a video where I read books that I think are going to be 5 stars. That could be really interesting. I loved Part of Your World, so I feel like I'm going to love this as well. Like I say, it's a 5-star prediction for me. Another series, like I said, this year is the year I want to continue series. Scarred by Emily McIntyre. I am so excited for this. I'm so excited to continue the series. I just love dark romance. I really need to read more dark romance, and the fact that these are loosely based off of Disney stories just adds an even better element to them. Hooked was so incredible. I give it 4 stars. It was such a good book. Again, this is another series I feel like there's definitely a 5-star in this series somewhere. Don't know which one yet. It could be this one, I don't know, but I'm just adding the next one that I need to read on the list. This one is based off Lion King, I think, which I love Lion King so much. Yeah, it is. Prince Tristan Fasser was never destined for the throne. That was always his brother Michael, the same brother responsible for Tristan's tormented childhood and the scar that marks his face. The fact that Emily just like adds little things here and there, little sprinkles that make it inspired by Disney is so good. And I love this series as well because it's based off the villains, which based off the Disney villains love story. Like in these books, the villain gets the girl. I can't wait to continue this. One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. I remember when everyone was reading this and I got this book because like everyone was going on about it. I was like, okay, I need to read this. And then also the like fantasy world in this just sounds so amazing. She has this like spirit in her head, but she speaks to it, and then she also meets this highwayman and they go on an adventure together. I'm pretty sure it's a romantasy. It's a dark fantasy as well, which I guess all fantasies are kind of dark, but I think this is like on another level of dark. Is it classed as a gothic fantasy? I think so. I think that's the right thing, which I don't think I've read a gothic fantasy. It's Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is a series that I think is going to be a 5-star series for me. I just think I'm going to be obsessed with it. I think when I read it, it's going to become my personality. Just because the one sentence, I can't remember who said it, but someone said that the guy in this, Death, is a character, by the way, which in itself sounds really interesting. Reminds them of Jax from Once Upon a Broken Heart, which if you say that, I'm gonna buy the book, I'm gonna get the book, I'm gonna want to read it, because Jax is one of my favourite all-time characters. He is one of the best morally grey fantasy characters, so I had to get this, I had to read it. Well, I haven't read it yet. I want to read it just because of that. The plot sounds so good because basically the reason why Death is so intrigued by her is because she just won't die, and that like makes him really interested in her as a character. She gets poisoned but it doesn't kill her, so Death is like after her, and I'm pretty sure they fall like for each other, which just sounds so different. Oh, the back sounds so good. Cigna's best chance of uncovering the murderer is an alliance with Death himself. Yeah, there's a mystery in here as well, which is another buzzword that's great. And as the mystery unfolds, Cigna realises their growing connection may be more irresistible than she dared imagine. The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. Beautiful Waterstones edition. I just added this to the list simply because I have so many fantasies on my TBR now, and I wanted to add a couple on here that I want to read, and this is one that I'm really excited for, just because of the cover, guys. You can tell just from looking at it that it's a romantasy. And then another thing that pulled me in and made me really want to read this year, A Fire at Enemies to Lovers romantasy. That's it. You say that it's an enemies to lovers romantasy, what do you expect me to do? I'm obviously going to want to read it. I'm obviously going to want to buy it, especially if it's special. Bewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. Look how gorgeous this book is, guys. I know I've shown it multiple times on this channel, but this book, even though I haven't read it yet, is like one of my favourite things I own. Like, I think even if I don't love this book, which I hope I do, I'll still want the edition because look at the cat on it, guys. So cute. I feel like I'm going to really enjoy this, just because it's giving cozy, it's giving magical, it's giving the vibes that I want, and it just sounds so cute. Belladonna Blackthorn, I love the name Belladonna so much, hasn't lost her magical spark, but she hasn't seen it in a while either. Balancing work at her beloved London bookshop Lunar Books, with handling her toxic boss and concealing her witchcraft from those around her. Bella is burnt out, perfecting the potential of her magic is the last thing on her mind. But when her 30th birthday brings a summons from her coven and a trial that tests her worthiness as a witch, Bella risks losing her magic forever. With only a month to fix things and a suspicion that dark forces may be working against her, Bella will need all the help she can get from the women in her life, from an unlikely mentor figure and even from an infuriating coven watchman who's sworn to protect her. Like, that sounds so good. So I think it's going to be like these women coming together, her finding her magic again, finding her spark, which sounds so good, and then there's also going to be a romance in there as well. I just think it's going to be really, really good, and I can't wait to read this. The last book on the TBR, I believe this is 25, we have Funny Story by Emily Henry. This TBR is very much a lot of books that I should have already read, and it's kind of criminal that I haven't read them, but everyone reads at their own pace, guys, you know. But this one I think is going to be a 5-star. This is another 5-star prediction for me. A lot of these are 5-star predictions for me. That's why I put them on the TBR and why I'm so excited about them. This just sounds really, really interesting because it's about these two people that get broken up with. They end up meeting each other because these two's partners are together. So these two, who are the exes, find each other, meet each other, which is just really interesting in itself. I'm pretty sure they move in with each other. Again, really interesting plot. I feel like this is going to be one of my favourites from her. As well, these two like fake date as well to like try and make their exes jealous, but they end up falling for each other, which is just sounds so cute. Sounds like the perfect like rom-com vibe, but because it's Emily, it's obviously going to have deeper elements to the story as well, because she is the queen of that. That is every single book on my 2025 TBR. I am so excited for 2025, guys. I have only read 3 books so far this year, but already I'm having such a good reading year, and all these books, just looking at them, I just want to read them all right now. I wish I could consume like 20 books at a time because I just want to read everything that I own, but obviously I can't. I wish we had more time, you know, but yeah, hopefully I can get to all these in 2025. Fingers crossed, because I'm really, really excited for all of them. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know some books you really want to get to in 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up, subscribe. See you all in the next one. I love you all. Bye bye.